This is a reveal and speedrun of Mel Medarda's full kit, the newest League of Legends mid lane and support mage champion, and yes, she has an execute. Mel's passive is Searing Brilliance and has 2 parts. 1. When she uses an ability, she gains 3 bonus projectiles with up to 9 maximum on her next attack. 2. When Mel does damage, she applies a stack of Overwhelm, which can stack to execute the enemy. The stacks will be consumed when Mel executes. Mel's Q, Radiant Volley, fires a barrage of projectiles that will explode around a target location that repeatedly does damage to enemies in that specific circle. Her W, which you've probably already seen, forms a barrier around herself that reflects enemy projectiles back at the attacker. This means Mel will not take any damage. She will also gain movement speed. Mel's E, Solar Snare, will fire an orb that does damage over time and will slow enemies who are in it, but root enemies who are in the center. Finally, for Mel's ultimate ability, Golden Eclipse, she will strike all the enemies who are marked with her passive debuff Overwhelm stacks, regardless of how far they are away from her, which means you cannot miss her ultimate. It will do additional damage for each stack of Overwhelm, and Overwhelm's damage will increase with each rank of her ultimate. And remember, this can execute. I have word that devs want to promote her kit in mid lane and want Mel to be easy to play but hard to master, and I'd have it no other way for this absolute queen. The devs also said that to carry a game, you'll have to hit sweet spots and predict your opponents, making sure you stack your Overwhelm stacks to the absolute max, weave in auto attacks after your abilities. They also said that getting all of your damage off of your Q and making sure to root enemies with your E, as well as reflecting key spells when you have to with your W, are all vital parts of Mel's skill expression. The devs were asked if they have any tips for playing Mel, and they said that Mel doesn't do much damage if you miss most of your shots. You have to make sure and predict where your opponent will be and hit them to get more damage. They said that whenever you cast, your next attack fires bonus projectiles that stack up your passive debuff Overwhelm. Your ultimate does more damage because of those stacks, so weave in those auto attacks after casting abilities to get more Overwhelm stacks. Finally, make sure to hold your W ability to reflect the most important enemy ability that would outplay your team to outplay the enemy team. That means reflecting a Seraphine ultimate is so much more valuable than blocking that tank's basic attack that just walked up to you. Now, for the people who need tips to play against Mel, this is what the devs said. Mel needs time to deal damage to you, and you can take advantage of that. So when she starts to hit you and stacks her passive, the Overwhelm debuff, all you have to do is back off before she gets too many stacks and kills you with her ultimate and execute. Or you can go all in and kill her before she even gets the chance to stack up. Now, you must remember that any and all of Mel's attacks or abilities trigger Overwhelm, and therefore they can kill you at low health. So you need to be careful when you are low. Back off, heal, and get ready to use those defense abilities that you have in your kit. Shields and lifeline items are very strong against Mel, who depends on hitting health thresholds to get a kill. And, of course, make sure you build that magic resist. And finally, everybody's talking about Mel's W rebuttal that reflects projectiles, but little do they know it has a long cooldown. So try to play around it and make sure you take advantage of the situation when it is down. If she uses it, that means she's an easy target for about a wave in the early game. Try teasing it out, bait out abilities, or force it out with an all-in. This last part is my favorite because they kind of talk about the challenges that they had trying to create that reflective ability rebuttal, Mel's W. One direction they were trying to take it was as a passive, kind of like Malzahar, where the next incoming projectile would be reflected. They found that it was kind of hard to be intentional with outside of standing over minions to block last hits in kind of a troll fashion. Another direction they wanted to take it was having a bubble that you could place on the ground. There were even spells designed for Mel to cast to bounce off of the bubble herself, but this also had a problem of preventing enemies from last hitting and was just too much of a threat. Imagine not even being able to cast a spell if Mel is on the screen or close to anyone. And last but not least, this was my favorite because it came directly out of Arcane with the whole Caitlyn, Maddie, and Mbessa scene. Covering allies with the reflection was too powerful. And it was too powerful for just a basic ability. And I don't think they wanted to make it an ultimate. But it's also a hard to use ultimate that can often be entirely wasted if the enemy just doesn't cast any abilities. After many tests and attempts, they concluded the best version of reflection was only castable on herself. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you liked the little looking glass that I gave you into not only the dev's mind, but also Mel's kit. Make sure to like and subscribe, and go ahead and comment down below. Do you think that they should have made her W castable on allies or no? And I hope to see you guys on stream today, twitch.tv/Miss Chim Chim. I start stream at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time any day, Monday through Friday, and hope to see you there.